Hi there. I have been reading an article in the newspaper today with regards to banks going to increase their interest rates on loans in Kenya. Even some are going to increase their interest rates to upwards of 20%. That is how insane it is. That tells you the cost of borrowing money in Kenya is about to get abnormally high. And this so because there has been consistent increase with regards to bank rate. Of course, the CBK increases its bank rate, and then also commercial banks out there adjust accordingly. Banks like, for example, Stanbic, Equity, you name it, are gonna see the interest rates more so to those who are deemed as high risk clients go even to upwards of 20%. Guys, what do you think about that? Do you think the cost of living in Kenya is getting insanely high and high? Share down below in the comment section, share your thoughts. What do you think about that? And even so, in this video, I'm about to discuss with you what you can possibly do to assist yourself. What you can possibly do to assist yourself, and even so, assist your financial position out here. Because the fact is that as a country, we are in a fix, and even so, the cost of surviving, the cost of obtaining finance is getting high by the day. Thanks a lot for stopping by to watch this video. My name is Afaga Sifuna. If you are new here and you love discussions around personal finance, investing, and also me going out there to show you different places and developments, kindly consider joining the family by subscribing. Down below, there is a button called subscribe. Click that button, join the family. Thank you for subscribing. Having said that, what can you possibly do? Because the fact is that, guys, we are all Kenyans and this is our country. We have nowhere to run to, and even so, even globally, the situation is also getting tricky because a good number of countries out there are actually also experiencing very high inflation. And if you are a good student of economics out there, these are cycles which happen. And unfortunately, we are in this cycle this year and even so sometime next year. That tells you we are supposed to do something for us to be able to assist ourselves beyond how the government can assist us too. And I'm saying so because, guys, a good portion of this increase in cost of living in the country, this increase in interest rates we're seeing is because also our government is in a fix. The government has debts it has to repay. It has to pay debts out there. And of course, we all know, for example, the money we borrowed from, for example, China. Things like, for example, the Exim Bank of China, we owe them good amounts of money. Even you're talking about into hundreds and hundreds of billion. That tells you we are supposed to pay off these loans. And of course, we're going to pay at a good interest amount. And with that, the government is going to continue taxing you, taxing me to get the amounts they require for them to be able to pay these interests. That tells you we need to do something. What can you possibly do? I'm going to give you two scenarios. First of all, for a person who is employed out there, and then secondly, for a person who isn't employed, what can you possibly do for you to be able to at least survive this economy and even so think about a better or more brighter financial situation in future? In case you're employed, be sure that, guys, you have an advantage. And I'm saying so because out here, unemployment is real. Most people out here are really struggling to even be able to get a meal in a single day. That tells you if you're employed and getting an income, more so if you're getting, you can be able to get spare amount of income out there beyond just getting your basics sorted, it is high time you start investing. If you haven't begun investing, start investing today. And I'm saying so because, guys, out here loans are gonna finish people. Out here, the cost of living is going to finish people. If you have the opportunity to begin investing, start investing. And I'm saying so because out here, even is the right time for you to invest because most likely return on your investment is bound to be higher. Because people out here are looking for money, for them to be able to utilize this money to make their financial positions much better. So if you can spare some amount, and even so, you can, for example, have those standing orders, whereby a good chunk of your income, for example, if you can, goes towards investments, okay? And then secondly, if you can too and you're employed, also look into saving. More so, saving amount of money which you can tap into in case you need something to assist you with your subsistence in future. What do I mean? Out here, guys, also at this particular point in time, we are seeing some people out there, for example, borrowing for them to sort their basic subsistence needs. Like, for example, someone borrowing to pay rent, okay? Someone borrowing, for example, to get money for food. Guys, I'm not saying borrowing is bad, but also borrowing for your subsistence is actually continuing to dig onto your grave. And I'm saying so because you'll end up working to chase to repay these loans. And woe unto you in case you are out there borrowing loans to finance other loans. With the increase of interest rates out here, as I've told you, it's gonna mean that actually you're gonna be trapped in this big trap. That's why I'm saying, if you can, live within your means and save the most you can, so that in future, whether you have an emergency or even in case someone fires you, you won't need to borrow money for you to be able to pay rent. You won't need to borrow money for you to be able to eat. You won't need to borrow money for you to pay school fees because you'll have saved. And by the way, don't say you don't earn enough to save. Guys, regardless the amount of money you earn, whether it is 20K, 50K, or even $500,000, you have enough amount of money for you to save. The only thing you need to do is actually prioritize saving and investment, and then also live below your means. For example, you can be earning 20K and then you spend the entire 20K each and every month. Look for an affordable housing and also manage your appetites for you to be able to spare something each and every month. And then the third thing you can do in case you are employed is start thinking more seriously about side hustles. What do I mean? Ways in which you can begin a business while you're still in your employment. Think about side hustles, maybe through your passion, maybe through your networks and so forth, something you can do to at least start getting extra income, because it is that particular extra income which is gonna assist you stay off getting loans and other forms of uncouth borrowings which are gonna set you in a trap. Having talked about a person who is employed, in case you are unemployed, what can you possibly do? First of all, is trying a level best to avoid getting these loans. Yes, you could, for example, check, you see your CRB record is good, you have a good credit score, and then you're gonna be tempted to borrow. I think borrowing should be your very, very last resort. And I'm saying so because why borrow in the first place if you can't repay? That is just gonna be a trap towards you denting your good financial record. So if you can, and if, by the way, it's very possible, avoid borrowing more so in case you are unemployed. Because if you borrow, chances are you won't be able to repay this particular amount of money you've borrowed, and it's just gonna taint your credit record, and it's gonna actually set you on path to seeing the interest rates increase abnormally because you are defaulting on paying off the amounts of money you've borrowed. And then secondly, the second tip is that also think about how you can make money without having money. I know it is quite an uphill task because for most things out here, you require money. But there are those simple things out here which someone can do with no money, or even so with very little amount of money. Even for example, 2K Kenya shillings, you can start something and dedicate your all to it. Hopefully over time, you can see it expand. And of course, everything out here requires skills. So if you don't have skills, there is something called the internet through which you can master a good number of skills out there. For example, maybe you want to start a business using just 2K Kenya shillings, a business about making beads. And of course, a good number of Kenyans out there usually have something on their wrist, whether it is a watch or even beads, you name it. Guys, you can begin this with just about 2K Kenya shillings or even less than that. Of course, go to the internet, look at how to go about making beads, what are the best combinations, how fast can you make them, you name it, and jump on it. More so if you're unemployed, anything goes. Don't be very choosy. Anything goes as long as it can give you money legally. And then over time, hopefully you can be able to scale it up, even build a team which can assist you, and in the process be able to also scale up your revenues. What do you think about this? The tips I've shared with you, and also, most importantly, what are your thoughts with regards to banks in Kenya going to increase their interest rates beginning sometime mid-August. What do you think? Down below comment, let's continue discussing. Cheers guys, I look forward to share with you other awesome videos next time. Bye bye and you all stay safe.